And anybody who tells me that they go out there to have fun playing football, they're a liar. Because this game isn't fun. This game is a war.
Mr. Wade here and Mrs. Crime. On today's unfortunate story, we're going to break it down on the one and only Mr. Lyle Alzado. If you haven't already done it now, subscribe. Remember, click that like button. A lot more to come. So let's break it down about who Lyle Alzado is.
At training camp, the first day I walked down the locker room and I had this tank top on. I was about 300 pounds and I strutted down the hallway there and I ripped off my clothes and I was putting my shoes on and I was thinking to myself, anybody bothers me, anybody comes near me, I'm going to grab right by the throat and let them know I'm here to play.
On our adventures to the Riverview Cemetery out in Portland, Oregon, we thought about going to go do and revamp the grave visit of Mr. Lyle Alzado. Now, Mr. Wade is going to break it down on who he is and what he meant to the sports industry. So, he was born April 3rd, 1949, May 14th. He died in 1992. But he was an American professional football player who was a defensive end of the National Football League. Yes. Now, Mr. Alzado played 15 seasons, split his time along the Denver Broncos, the Cleveland Browns, finally the Los Angeles Raiders. And that's who I remember him playing for, the Raiders. The man was bad. Now, he got a championship ring in the Super Bowl. Now, Mr. Alzado, he got a Super Bowl ring championship. He also was a 3-time All-Pro and a 2-time Pro Bowl selection. Damn. Now, in his early life, he was born in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, to an Italian-Spanish father, Maurice, and a Jewish mother with a Russian family background. Okay? Now, he also had a father that they described as a drinker and a street fighter. That might be where he got that fighting skills from, right? But the family during Alonzo's sophomore year at Lawrence High School, he played high school football for 3 years. Wow, moving on up, right? So in college, he ended up strolling off and played for Caligari College, a community college in Kilgore, Texas. And after 2 years, he was asked to leave the team. He later contended for befriending a black teammate. So, befriending a black teammate, he was asked to leave the team. Wow. So from Texas, Mr. Alzado moved to Yankton College in South Dakota. Now, through playing in relative obscurity in the NAIA, Alzado nonetheless gained notice by the NFL Broncos, Denver Broncos coach and scout Stan Jones, right? Now, this guy was already evolving into who he is as of right now, or in past tense was. Now, this guy here, he was bad. Now, to break it down even further, right? When he played for the Denver Broncos, there was a starting running back, right? Defensive end, Rich Tombstone Jackson. Now, he was injured in 1971. Alzado took over the job and went on to make various all-rookie moves to his team's contributions of 60 tackles and 8 sacks. Now, following the year, Alzado began to get national attention as he racked up 10.5 sacks to go with his 91 tackles. The man was bad. In 1973, Alzado posted excellent numbers as the Broncos had a winning record for the first time in team history. 7-5-2. Damn, that's pretty good. In 1974, Alzado gained more notice as one publication named him AFC with 13 sacks, 80 tackles, 8 for a loss, and he was recognized as one of the NFL's top defensive ends. Now, as Mr. Wade recalls it, I remember the man who would later be labeled as a violent, combative player known for his short temper. What NFL player don't have a short temper? Anyways, inspired the league ruled against throwing a helmet after having one done so to the opponent's helmet. I mean, we all get mad, take a helmet and throw it and this and that, you know. Maybe a basketball, maybe a hockey stick. Why they gotta be all about Alzado being mad? We all get there, right? Come on now, no. Now that violence, he had so much violence that you saw on the field was not real stuff. His brother Hale Lyle used the football players a way of expressing his anger at the world and the way he grew up. I mean, who don't? Football's a violent sport. Sometimes you get up on there and you want to get mad and you want to just tackle somebody. That first hit, rah, right? We do that stuff, don't we? Now, outside of football, Mr. Lyle Alzado, he was also an amateur boxer. In 1979, he fought an exhibition match against the one and only Muhammad Ali. Wow, you talking about bad.
It's gonna be world after this. This will be bigger than all the skates put together. Japan told us to the crew in. You have a worldwide movement.
Now, we all know that in times of hard needs and different things, your body gets different and you want to have that same elite athletic ability. So, unfortunately, Mr. Alzado was one of the first major U.S. sports figures to admit he was on steroids. Now, in his last years of life, he battled against brain tumor. You know, that was eventually what caused his death, as I'm reading. And also, Alzado asserted that his steroid abuse directly him to his fatal illness. Now, Alzado recounted his steroid abuse in an article in Sports Illustrated. You know, wow.
To do good with kids and people who couldn't help themselves, he'd be their champion. Over the course of his career, Alzado raised millions of dollars for children's causes.
Now, me and Mrs. Crime on our adventures out to Riverview Cemetery, we've been there once before, and I think that when I did his recalculation of his past acquired stuff that he did in the past and his achievements, I kind of was low with it. And I think this right here, I got more into it to give you guys a more view of the worldwide man of Lyle Alzado. Now, unfortunately, Lyle Alzado died in May 14th, 1992 at the age of 43 after a battle with brain cancer due to the steroid use, and this is what we get. And he was buried at Riverview Cemetery. So we are venturing out there right now. I'm gonna take you guys to his grave. Stay tuned. Mr. Wade here and Mrs. Crime. If you guys haven't done already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Click that like button. A lot more to come from Tombstone Whispers. So today's unfortunate story is about a pro football player. Yes, pro football player. Me and Mrs. Crime have been out here before to this individual's grave, and I thought that I would add more footage of what he's done to be who he is. We are here to visit Lyle Alzado, the football player and also boxer. I saw footage of him actually doing a charity fight with Muhammad Ali. This guy was your notorious Good Samaritan, but notorious football player. Let's see if we can find his grave. I've been to it before. I think I may know the location. Let's go. So we are out here at Riverview Cemetery, and we are here to visit Mr. Lyle Alzado. Alzado, if I'm saying his name correctly. But we are here to visit him. Now, I've been to his grave before, me and Mrs. Crime, and I think I know his exact location. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Wade has been known to mess up, as you guys know. But I do know he's on one of these back roads back here. He's not here, so he must be more this way. Let's take a walk and find out. Now, you would think of him being such a great football player that he would have had more of a impact of having a bigger headstone. I mean, I grew up personally watching this man, and I'm sure you guys had as well. But Lyle Alzado was, I remember him most in the days of the Raiders. And I know he played other football teams, as I posted, and he's done a lot of other things as well. Stay tuned, let's see if we can find his grave. Stay tuned. So I was reading up on Mr. Lyle Alzado, and he also played for the Denver Broncos. The man was bad. Now, this is one video that me and Mrs. Crime have done a while back that got a lot of views. You know, we like to have the views. We also like to have the subscriptions and the watch time. Who doesn't? But Mr. Wade and Mrs. Crime, we are now at Mr. Lyle Alzado's headstone and grave, giving respect to the awesome football player, semi-boxer. Hey, I'm gonna post all kind of stuff that's before this episode right here of Mr. Alzado.
Honey put on a really good show. All of us who knew Lyle, there was a clear understanding.
So here we are at Mr. beloved husband, Lyle Martin Alzado, 1949 to 1992. Till we meet again. So this is the grave of awesome Samaritan. I would say the most prolific, I would say awesome guy, NFL football player, all around pro sportsman. Wow, really showed his emotions and played the game well. Mr. Lyle Martin Alzado, 1949 to 1992. This is the grave of Mr. Alzado. It took me some time to find the grave, but Mr. Wade found it. Woohoo! So it's terribly muddy out here. I had a jacket on before. I took it off so I can keep bringing you guys the stories of unfortunate individuals, whether they've been murdered, whether they died. Everything is unfortunate. So stay tuned for more unfortunate material coming from Tombstone Whispers. I'm Mr. Wade and Mrs. Crime. Stay tuned for a lot more.